Stephanie with AmericanMuscle.com, and this is my review of BBK's cold air intake for the 2015 and 16 S550 GTs in either this blacked out version or chrome version. This cold air intake option from BBK does not require a tune, so this is going to be a good option for those S550 owners who are interested in and want the benefits of a cold air intake, but maybe aren't quite ready for a tune yet. We ran our S550 on the dyno and got our baseline numbers, which are 392 horsepower and 361 foot-pounds of torque, and then ran it with the BBK intake and a 93 octane tune from Bama because we wanted to see the full potential of this intake. With the intake and tune, our numbers were 413 horsepower and 368 foot-pounds of torque, giving us peak gains of 21 horsepower and 6 foot-pounds of torque. So peak gains are great and all, but the real thing I look for is differences throughout the curve or your driving RPMs, which is what you're actually going to notice performance-wise. And throughout the curve, we're seeing gains of 21 horsepower and 30 foot-pounds of torque, which is a pretty big torque gain and something that you're really going to feel driving. I did take this out for a drive, and I did notice some big differences, which a lot of them can be from the tune, no doubt, but there was a big improvement in low RPMs where we saw that torque gain. 5th and 6th gear were more drivable, and the car was way more responsive in higher gears. I noticed that I was able to drive right out of the lower RPMs without any hesitation from the car, and these low and mid-range RPM improvements are something that I also noticed in the lower gears as well, especially between lights and getting up to speed, and even merging on the highway in 5th gear. The car is much smoother overall, it's happier shifting, and the throttle response is noticeably improved. The main benefit of a cold air intake is increasing the airflow to your GT's engine and providing improvements in power and acceleration over the restrictive stock airbox. Now, even though you do not need a tune for this particular intake, just keep in mind that you're going to see the full potential in power and acceleration when combined with a custom tune. So taking a look at the intake itself, it includes a cotton element filter that's going to replace the factory paper filter, which is nice because it's a reusable filter that can be cleaned, re-oiled, and reinstalled. Like I said, BBK offers this intake in two finishes, either this wrinkle black powder-coated version that's a little bit more low-key, or a nice chrome option if you prefer a little flash under the hood. Both options seem pretty solid from looking at them right here on the table. They're smooth on the inside and come with new couplers and clamps. And it's also worth mentioning, even though I know that technically this is a performance part, I do think the BBK looks nicer than the stock airbox does under the hood. The intake comes with this black heat shield no matter which color option you go with. If you're not a fan of the open element filter and prefer an enclosed airbox, there are a handful of other options on the site that you can check out. As for price, this cold air intake option is going to be coming in at that $300 to $400 price range, which is pretty much in line with most of the other cold air intake options on the site. The chrome option will cost a little bit more than the blacked out version. Install of the intake is fairly easy and straightforward, but I will say just to make sure you follow the included directions since the intake is a tight fit, so installing out of order might make it a little hard to get everything into place. But this is still a 1-wrench install that should take an hour or less to get done, and all you really need is a 10mm, a flathead for the plastic pins, and some pliers to remove the hose clamps. Overall, the BBK is a solid intake with good construction and a reusable filter, which is nice. This is a good choice for anyone who's not ready for a tune, but like I mentioned and showed on the dyno, the best results will always come when using a tune. I definitely think that either option would look much better than the factory intake under the hood, and price-wise, it's pretty much in line with most of the other cold air intakes on the site, whether open element or enclosed. But as always, check this out for yourself online, along with all of your other options, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.